My wife had betrayed me, and in that moment, something inside me shattered. But my revenge was just as icy and calculated as her deception. I had a thriving career in IT, a beautiful and intelligent wife named Olivia, and 2 wonderful children. Our family appeared perfect, always together, always smiling, always joyful. We were the kind of family others admired, but in reality, it was all just a facade, concealing the decay within. Olivia had been my love since college. We had overcome countless challenges together, building our careers, buying a home. I was certain she was my soulmate, but as it turned out, I had been blind. That night changed everything. I came home earlier than usual, having completed an important project ahead of schedule. I even brought her a gift, a gorgeous pair of earrings she had wanted for a long time. I was sure she'd be delighted, but what I discovered at home chilled me to the core. I quietly opened the door, careful not to disturb the kids. The house was oddly silent, which immediately made me uneasy. Olivia was supposed to be home at this time. Then I heard sound from our bedroom, sounds I never imagined I'd hear. My heart pounded as I inched towards the door and gently pushed it open. The sight before me made my world crumble. Olivia was in bed with another man, laughing and murmuring the same words she had once whispered to me. I stood frozen, unable to move or speak. In that moment, I realized not only had she betrayed me, but I had been a fool for not recognizing the signs. I silently closed the door and walked away. Outside, I inhaled the cold night air, struggling to decide what to do next. I could have stormed in and caused a scene, but I knew that would only humiliate me further. Instead, I chose to act with the calm precision of a detective, gathering evidence, not just for a divorce, but to fully understand the depth of her betrayal. It turned out this affair had been ongoing for several months. She had been meeting this man in our home while I was at work, even with our children nearby. Once I had all the proof, I moved to the next phase of my plan. I wanted her to experience the full weight of her infidelity, to realize exactly what she had thrown away. First, I transferred all our joint funds to my personal accounts. Thankfully, we had signed a prenuptial agreement before marriage, which was now working in my favor. Next, I packed up Olivia's belongings and delivered them to a hotel, where I paid for a week's stay. I left her a note, informing her that she could collect her things there. I locked up our house, changed the passwords on all our shared accounts, and ensured she no longer had access to anything she once considered hers. The hardest part was talking to our children. I gently explained that their mother had made a mistake, and that we would need time to figure things out. They cried, but I promised them we would get through it together. When Olivia returned home and found herself locked out, she frantically started calling me. I answered calmly, as if we were having a business discussion. "Daniel, what's happening? Why can't I get inside?" Her voice was shaking. "Olivia, I know everything," I replied coldly. "Your belongings are at a hotel. You can stay there until you find a new place. I'm filing for divorce." She begged and sobbed, pleading for forgiveness, but I wasn't about to grant it. Watching her break down brought a strange sense of satisfaction. Maybe it was cruel, but I knew she deserved it. I sent copies of the evidence to her family and friends, ensuring they knew exactly what she had done. I was certain they would judge her and turn their backs on her, beginning her social downfall. Olivia was an avid user of social media, frequently posting family pictures and bragging about our flawless life. I hacked her accounts and uploaded the photos and videos provided by the detective. Her online world was instantly flooded with judgmental comments and mass unfollows. Then, I contacted her employer. Olivia worked at a prestigious firm, and her career was on a rise, but I knew her bosses wouldn't tolerate the scandal tied to her infidelity. I sent them all the proof, and soon after, she was summoned to the director's office and dismissed for violating company ethics. But that was only the beginning. Using my professional connections, I ensured she would struggle to find a similar job in our industry. It didn't take long for her to realize that rebuilding her career was nearly impossible. She begged me for a second chance, but I remained firm. Despite the pain, I felt free. When Olivia finally grasped that she had lost her job, her friends, and her family support, she began to panic. She tried reaching out to me again, but I blocked her calls and messages. The only option left for her was to write me a letter, pleading for forgiveness and asking for a chance to start over. I ignored it. Meanwhile, I focused on our children, ensuring they had a stable life. We started seeing a therapist to help them process the trauma caused by their mother's choices. They were young, but old enough to sense that something had gone terribly wrong. I became their pillar of strength, filling the emptiness their mother left behind with love and attention. One of the most dramatic moments occurred when she showed up at our house, pleading to be let in so we could talk. She stood at the doorstep, tears streaming down her face, overcome with despair. I watched her through the window, but never opened the door. In that moment, I felt strong and liberated, knowing I no longer relied on her lies and betrayal. Over time, Olivia managed to find a job, but it was nowhere near the position she once held. She moved into a small apartment on the outskirts of town. Our only communication was strictly about the kids, and each conversation was brief and formal. She tried to rebuild her relationship with them, but they had adjusted to life without her and showed little interest in her visits. As my life gradually came back together, I met a woman who became a true friend and partner. She taught me to trust and love again, and together we built a new family based on honesty and mutual respect. The kids adapted well to our new life, and I hired a nanny to help care for them while I was at work. Olivia, on the other hand, continued to struggle. Without the financial support she had grown accustomed to, her life became difficult. Although I knew she hoped for a reconciliation, I could never allow myself to let her back in. She had become nothing more than a shadow of the past, a reminder of how quickly happiness can be shattered when trust and loyalty are betrayed. In the end, I knew I had done everything possible to make her understand the gravity of her actions and the true cost of betrayal. Every betrayal has its price, and she had paid hers in full.